When we think of muscle cars, names like Mustang, Camaro, and Charger usually come up. But there are plenty of other American high-performing cars from the 60s and 70s that didn't get the attention they deserved. They were fast, powerful, and built for the road, but somehow they've been forgotten over time. In today's video, we'll be looking at some of these overlooked asphalt kings. Let's start with the Studebaker Avanti R2. Released in 1965, this was a car ahead of its time, even called the fastest production car in the world upon its introduction. The idea was conceived under the leadership of Studebaker president Sherwood Egbert, who assumed the role in February 1961. The car's design reportedly originated from a sketch Egbert made on the back of an envelope during a flight. This visionary concept aimed to rival Ford's Thunderbird and revitalize Studebaker's declining fortunes. It was then designed by Raymond Loewy and his team on a 40-day crash program. The Avanti was a high-potency luxury coupe with futuristic styling, design, and a supercharged 289 cubic inch power plant. The Avanti R2 produced 290 horsepower, offering impressive speed and handling. Despite its potential and striking looks, the Avanti R2 never gained mainstream popularity. Though it was a breakthrough for both performance and design, the Avanti's short production run, just 1,200 units, and the closure of Studebaker led to its eventual obscurity in the muscle car history. Today, the Avanti R2 is an elusive and disregarded vintage power-packed ride that still commands respect among collectors. Let's move on to the Nova SS. The Chevy Nova SS is a compact performance car that often gets overlooked. The Chevrolet Nova was a popular compact car, but the SS Supersport version, especially from the 1960s, was a true powerhouse in disguise. In 1969, the Nova SS offered a 350 cubic inch workhorse, pushing out up to 375 horsepower. It was lightweight, fast, and affordable, making it a true sleeper on the road. While the Camaro and Chevelle stole the spotlight, the Nova SS was just as capable, offering capabilities in a more unassuming package. The car was a serious performer and remains one of the unsung heroes of the muscle car era. The Nova SS today has become a highly sought-after collectible, often commanding prices exceeding $100,000 for well-preserved original examples in pristine condition. Now we come to the AMC Hornet SC360. The American Motors Corporation (AMC) was a lesser-known player in the performance market, but it still produced a few worthy contenders. The Hornet SC360, introduced in 1971, was a unique street machine based on AMC's compact Hornet platform. Released in 1971, it came with a 360 cubic inch performer, producing 245 horsepower. It was a small, affordable, power-packed car with solid performance, designed to compete with the bigger names in the high-output car market. Unfortunately, it was eclipsed by more well-known automotive icons. AMC's financial struggles led to its disappearance from the scene. Despite its powerful engine and exceptional styling, the Hornet never achieved the fame of its competitors. With only around 1,200 ever produced, it remains a scarce and overlooked gem in American classic car history. Another on the list is the Ford Falcon Sprint. Ford's Falcon was another compact car that didn't get as much attention as its larger, more famous counterparts like the Mustang. Although the Falcon Sprint had been before the Mustang, the small, sporty V8-equipped car that served as a precursor to the pony car era lasted only 3 years. However, the Falcon Sprint, available from 1963 to 1965, held its own as a capable powerhouse. Introduced in 1964, the Falcon Sprint offered a 260 cubic inch engine of might, later upgraded to a 289 cubic inch engine. It was lightweight, quick, and affordable, making it a sleeper road beast that predated the Mustang. The Sprint was essentially a thunderous coupe in a smaller package, but it was often surpassed by the Mustang, which stole the spotlight in the pony car race. The Falcon Sprint's impressive capabilities and distinctive style make it a classic that's often overlooked, but remains a significant part of Ford's classic car heritage. We cannot forget the Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS. The Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS is a street machine that combined intensity with sophistication. Released in 1970, it came with a 454 cubic inch Titan delivering 360 horsepower. While it wasn't as aggressive as some other popular performance cars, it offered a refined ride with serious authority. This car was engineered to seamlessly combine power, refinement, and comfort. While it lacked the raw intensity of earlier muscle cars, it garnered a loyal following and remains a lesser-known gem in Chevy's heritage of high-performance vehicles. Despite its capabilities, it was marginalized by other Chevys like the Camaro and Chevelle. Today, the Monte Carlo SS may be overlooked, but it remains a shining example of the perfect blend of might and luxury. Next on the list is the AMC Javelin. The AMC Javelin was a street machine aimed squarely at the pony car market, competing with the likes of the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro. Introduced in 1968, the Javelin offered a range of robust engines, including a 390 cubic inch performer with 315 horsepower. Its debut marked a bold transformation for AMC, signaling its shift from producing modest economy cars to establishing itself as a full-line automaker with a diverse vehicle range. With its rugged styling and solid output, the Javelin was a serious contender in the muscle car market. However, it never gained the same fame as its rivals. Throughout its 6-year production run, the bold and sometimes divisive Javelin secured its spot in history as one of America's most overlooked and undervalued high-powered machines. Another hidden gem is the Chrysler 300 Hearst. The Chrysler 300 Hearst is one of the most iconic street machines ever produced. It was built in collaboration with the customizer Hearst, known for its formidable upgrades. It was produced in 1970 and sporting a 440 cubic inch monster that produced 390 horsepower. The 300 Hearst boasted an impressive amount of raw power beneath its refined and polished exterior, making it a true force to be reckoned with. With its distinctive white and gold color scheme in limited production, only around 500 units were produced, making it a treasure sought after even to this day. Despite its impressive features, the 300 Hearst remains a largely overlooked vintage V8 legend due to its limited production and being dominated by far more famous Chrysler models like the Roadrunner and Charger, leaving it as an underrated chapter in the brand's muscle car era. Following that is the Mercury Cyclone CJ. The Mercury is an automobile marketed by the Mercury Performance division of Ford as an alternative to the Mustang. The Mercury Cyclone was initially introduced as the Mercury Comet Cyclone in 1964, when it succeeded the S22 as the power-oriented version of the Comet lineup. By 1968, the Cyclone evolved into a standalone model, coinciding with the Mercury Montego's replacement of the Comet. The Mercury CJ, short for Cobra Jet, is the third generation of the Mercury Cyclone. Released in 1969, it was equipped with the legendary 428 cubic inch Cobra Jet powerhouse, producing 335 horsepower. With its bold design and racing pedigree, it was designed to compete in NASCAR and dominated the drag strip. However, despite its impressive engine and distinctive status, the CJ never received the recognition of the Mustang or the Cougar, and its production numbers were relatively low. Its rarity and engineering make it one of the overlooked icons of muscle, with just 2,175 units produced in its single year of production. Next on the roster is the AMC AMX. Since its inception, AMC operated in the shadow of Detroit's Big Three automakers, struggling with limited resources and a reputation for producing basic, uninspiring vehicles. However, the late 1960s marked a turning point. Under the creative direction of head designer Dick Teague, AMC unveiled a lineup of bold and innovative models, with the AMX being part of them, thereby transforming its image with striking designs and performance-focused engineering. Early sketches and concept photos of the AMX reveal a vision far removed from the production model. Initially conceived as an exotic mid-engine sports car, 6 prototypes were built, with coachwork supplied by the same Italian firm that served Ferrari. Ultimately, the production AMX took a more pragmatic route. It was based on a shortened chassis of the Javelin pony car, with reworked rear contours to craft a sleek 2-seater. Despite its compromises, it stood out as the only American-made 2-passenger car besides the Corvette and the first steel-body 2-seater produced in the US since 1957. Under the hood, it offered a range of high-performance engines, from a 290 cubic inch base engine producing 225 horsepower to a top-tier 390 cubic inch beast delivering 315 horsepower. An intermediate 343 cubic inch option was also available, ensuring a blend of upgradable choices to suit enthusiasts' preferences. The car lives up to the hype, being a compact, high-output car with bold aesthetics and a strong racing heritage. AMC's inability to match the marketing abilities of larger automakers ultimately doomed the AMX to relative obscurity. Despite its impressive prowess on drag strips and road courses, the car struggled to generate significant sales. By its final production year in 1970, only 4,116 units were sold, less than half of the previous year's total. Over its 3-year production run, just 19,134 AMX models were sold. This lackluster performance was further compounded by management's belief that producing both the AMX and the Javelin, 2 similar cars targeting the same market segment, was both impractical and financially unwise. Rounding off the list is the Plymouth GTX. The Plymouth GTX is often overlooked in favor of more famous performance-driven cars like the Plymouth Roadrunner or Barracuda. However, the GTX was a top-tier dynamic ride when it was introduced in 1967. It came with a 440 cubic inch monster, cranking out 375 horsepower that was built to compete with the best, offering capabilities on par with the Roadrunner, but with a more refined upscale feel. The GTX was essentially a gentleman's muscle car, offering dynamics and luxury in a single package. Despite its impressive specifications and strong performance, the GTX never received the widespread recognition it deserved, often outshined by its more famous siblings. Fewer than 20,000 were built in its best years, and it's often sidelined by other iconic cars in the Mopar lineup. Today, it's one of the most overlooked but highly respected performance cars from the era, one that truly deserves to be remembered. While legendary muscle cars like the Ford Mustang, Chevrolet Camaro, and Dodge Charger are often the stars of the classic car world, these are some of the hidden gems that deserve their moment in the spotlight. While they may not have the same level of recognition, they contributed to the golden age of high performance in their own extraordinary ways. Join the ride by subscribing for more epic videos. Thanks for watching.